Some of history's greatest treasures weren't just lost to time. They were stolen. Think about it. A room made of glittering amber, a so-called eighth wonder of the world ripped right from its palace walls. Or a legendary sword said to be the very soul of the samurai, which vanished into thin air during the chaos of war. These weren't simple thefts. They were audacious heists that plundered our collective past. Today, we rate pulling back the curtain on the wars and the thieves who got away with stealing history itself. It was called the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. Imagine a room where the walls weren't painted, but were covered in over 6 tons of breathtaking amber panels, all backed with gold leaf and mirrors. Originally a German creation, it was given as a grand diplomatic gift by the Prussian King Frederick William I to Tsar Peter the Great around 1716, sealing an alliance between their nations. For 2 centuries, the Amber Room was the stunning centerpiece of the Catherine Palace in Russia, a monument to art and power. But in 1941, the world descended into chaos. Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, and as Nazi soldiers stormed the Soviet Union, the Amber Room was on their shopping list. They saw it as a German treasure to be reclaimed as the invaders closed in. Russian curators made a frantic attempt to save it. They tried to disassemble the delicate panels. But the old amber was dry and brittle, and it began to crumble. In a final, desperate act, they tried to hide the entire magnificent room behind plain wallpaper, hoping the soldiers would just walk on by. The ruse didn't work. The Nazis knew exactly what they were looking for. According to reports from the time, it took them just 36 hours to tear the room from the walls, pack it into 27 crates, and ship it off to Königsberg, Germany, which is now Kaliningrad, Russia. There, it was reassembled in the city's castle museum for all to see. But as the tide of the war turned against Germany, the trail of the Amber Room went cold. Sometime between late 1943 and early 1944, as Allied bombers targeted German cities, the room was taken down again and packed away into the castle's cellars. After the war, it was gone. The crates, filled with tons of priceless amber and gold, had simply vanished. So, what happened to it? That's the million-dollar question. The leading theory is that the crates were destroyed during the intense Allied bombing raids in 1944 that leveled Königsberg Castle, or during the final Soviet assault on the city in 1945. After all, amber has a low melting point and could have easily been incinerated. A post-war Soviet investigation, led by Alexander Brusov, concluded this was the most likely fate, especially after finding the burnt remains of 3 of the room-esque for Florentine mosaics in the castle cellar. But other, more hopeful, theories persist. Some believe the crates were loaded onto a ship and now rest at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The discovery of the sunken German steamer SS Karlsruhe in 2020, which left Königsberg in 1945 with mysterious cargo, briefly fueled this hope, but nothing has been confirmed. Others speculate it was hidden in a secret mine or bunker, still waiting to be found. A single, authenticated mosaic panel from the room turned up in Bremen, Germany, in 1997, recovered from the family of a former German soldier. But it offered no new clues about where the rest might be. Today, a stunning reconstruction stands in the Catherine Palace, but the original remains one of history's greatest unsolved thefts. Part 2. The Hanjo Masamu, the lost sword of the shoguns. Not all stolen treasures are rooms of gold. Some are forged from steel. The Hanjo Masamu was more than just a sword. It was a national treasure of Japan and the masterpiece of the legendary swordsmith Goro Naito Masamu. For centuries, it was deeply associated with the Tokugawa shoguns, a powerful symbol of their rule passed down through generations. It was considered the soul of the samurai, a blade of mythical quality. According to tradition, it gets its name from Honjo Shigenaga, a 16th century general who claimed it in a duel after the blade sliced his helmet in half. The sword eventually came into the possession of the Tokugawa clan, who ruled Japan for over 250 years. Then, like the Amber Room, its fate was sealed by World War II. After Japan's surrender in 1945, Allied forces ordered that all swords be surrendered. Tokugawa Ieyasu, a descendant of the shoguns, made the painful decision to set an example by complying. In December 1945, he handed over his family's priceless collection, including the Hanjo Masamu, to the Mayuro police station in Tokyo. From there, the sword was collected by an American soldier. Records point to Esquite Coldy B. Moore of the 7th U.S. Cavalry, but no official match for that name has ever been found, leading many to believe it was misheard or misspelled, and just like that, it was gone after being turned over. The legendary sword was never officially seen again. The chaos of post-war Japan provided the perfect cover for its disappearance. Thousands of swords were confiscated, and many were low-quality, mass-produced weapons that were simply destroyed. While it has a remote possibility that the Hanjo Masamu was mistaken for a common weapon and melted down, its incredible artistry makes that unlikely. A more probable theory is that the soldier recognized its value and took it home as a souvenir. It could be sitting in a private collection right now, its true identity completely unknown to its owner. The search continues, but the sword that embodied the spirit of the samurai remains lost to casualty of war and one of history's most frustrating mysteries. From the golden walls of the Amber Room to the gleaming edge of the Hanjo Masamu, the chaos of war has always been the perfect storm for history's boldest thefts. These weren't just objects of immense value. They were symbols of culture and power, stolen in moments of total upheaval. Their disappearance leaves a hole in our shared history, an enduring mystery that continues to haunt and fascinate us. But these are just the stories. What other legendary historical heists have you heard about? Share the stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look into the past, make sure to like and subscribe for more explorations of history's greatest mysteries.